Hey guys, welcome to Isms by Josie, and today I'm going to be doing French tip nails using Polygel. These are Mia's Secret forms, and I'm cutting them to shape, making it snug as a bug in a rug. Takes a little practice to manipulate the forms perfectly to your nail, but I do find this easier than using tips. And once we get the nail form on, just pinch it to make it secure. And then we're going to use a light pink polygel from Gelish. Take a dollop of that and put it on your nail. Using Gelish slip solution, we're going to be patting this smooth to form the natural part of the French tip. You want to go thin near the cuticles and then build to the apex for some strength. Then you'll want to figure out how long you want the natural part to go. You can just easily swipe out the extra polygel. Here I'm just tacking it on to better build my apex, and then I'm smoothing out the edges. Cure it. May have to take it out if it gets a little too hot. Just pop it back in. Then you're going to file your edges, make them nice and crisp. Then I'm going to take a nail cleanser from Gelish again. And we're going to wipe off the residue. Then I'm going to use bright white polygel from Gelish. And we're going to form the white tip. You want to cover around the edges and form the type of shape of nail that you'd like. I personally tend to do the tapered square edge. Make sure you remember which line you use on the form. I tend to forget which line marker I end up picking, and sometimes the other nails end up becoming a different length. It doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to cover, because we'll be filing this down later. Remove any excess if you have any. cure it. And then we're going to start the next nail. I find that these gelish polygels, the white ones specifically, even though you'll cure it, and sometimes I'll pop it in for 30 seconds for a number of times, whenever I remove the form, it's still not cured underneath. So I'm just going to leave these forms on till the very end, and then I'll remove each one by one and smooth out the underside. Again, I don't know if it's just the product or if it's, happening in other polygel brands. Let me know in the comments below. I do like this polygel. It's lightweight and easy to apply. The good thing about polygels is that you can have all the time in the world to play with it, as long as you don't hit it with the UV or LED light. I tend to be meticulous sometimes, and that takes much more time than acrylic, say, would give. I've done acrylics before. I haven't done them in a while, but I remember it being a little scary sometimes, just because I hate filing. It just takes too much. Even with an e-file, like I don't like to use the e-file too much. I'm more of a hand filer, and just spending all that time, especially if you just make one huge mistake, it takes forever to file and you ruin your boards and just keep running through them. But that was with acrylic. I've not used acrylic since, maybe 15 years ago. I'm sure they're better by now, but anyways. I do find that I've done builder gel, and I do find that the polygel feels stronger than the builder gel. When I fidget around and I pinch my nails a bit, there's some flex when it comes to builder gel. But with polygel, it's pretty stiff. So if that's something that you're looking for, if you work with your hands a lot, I work with my hands a lot, which is why I need to cover it. I mean, this is a little extreme. I used to just go for like 3 coats of nail polish, and now I'm jazzing it out with polygels and rhinestones and stuff. But it's pretty strong, so I would definitely recommend polygel for a beginner. For time purposes, for the video, I decided to leave all these nail forms on and do every nail before filing. I mean, sometimes or usually I'll do one finger at a time. So, I mean, if you see this, it's, it gets a little crazy trying to do your own nails and, squeeze bottles and hold the brush and all this other jazz. Mind you, this is my least dominant hand that I'm working with. I am a lefty, so I'm surprised at this. Always surprised when my left hand comes out decent. I guess with practice, it doesn't look as bad as the last set. So these bottles that I'm using today, I actually bought maybe over 2 years ago. Polygel lasts pretty long. I bought a kit for like $200 something. It came with the white polygel, the light pink, cover pink, and then clear. And right now I'm just trying to use up all of them before I get a new set or refill bottles or something. So I went back to basics and I'm doing this French tip today. But it lasts pretty long. And then there was about 4 months where I was trying out builder gel. And I normally would do my nails every 2 weeks. And this will probably be like the first time I decided to do one hand every week. That's the goal. I never had two different looking sets of hands when I'm doing my nails, so that should be interesting, especially in the professional world where, you know, I don't know if long, blingy nails are accepted in the office. But this one set a week will probably be more interesting than waiting for 2 weeks for a full set. And I'm actually loving the fact that this takes obviously half the time to do because you're only doing 5 nails. So my nail journey is just a hobby. Again, it just started out as me trying to protect my nails. I have brittle nails all the time and I work with my hands, just, cleaning the house or, rummaging through papers or doing crafts. I jack up my nails pretty bad and then, I scratch at night. So I'll wake up with these cuts on me like some bad Nightmare on Elm Street movie. But yeah, so I started just coating with nail polish, but that would, no matter what I used, it would always chip. And for some reason, when you do fake nails, it just adheres so much better. So, balls to the wall. I'm just coating them with polygel now. Maybe tomorrow will be builder gel, but it's so much better for me because when I do tend to scratch at night or anything, like, it's not as bad. I mean, it probably sucks because you'd like that good scratch, but it's like wearing mittens, but not. So about 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, I bought this kit and I figured I'd teach myself how to use it. I'm not a professional, I'm not licensed, I'm not certified. Again, this is just a hobby, but I do find I have a lot of time on my hands and it does keep me out of trouble. And it's fun to do. I'm very artsy and crafty, like, if that's a word. And I just started playing with it and watching, similar YouTube videos from licensed people. You can learn a lot, and you can learn a lot by doing it yourself. So that's how my nail journey went. And in these videos, I want to show people that you can do it too. My friends are always saying something about nails or my nails and how good they are. Usually, sometimes they're just like, "Oh, what did you do?" design wise. But recently I went on a trip to Aruba and it wasn't like, yeah, your face does match your passport. It's more like, oh wow, your nails look nice, and it's coming from a guy. And that's the strangest thing ever, just because I have a lot of guy friends, they don't really care, to be honest. So all this nail stuff we do thinking that it's gonna impress them usually doesn't. But usually when I go out now and I bling out my nails or I do something cool to it, it's usually the talk of the conversation. So it's just become my new norm, which I guess pushed me to do these videos. last nail. I can imagine what it'd be like if I kept all of these on for all 10 fingers. I probably wouldn't recommend you do that. It'd be like a Edward Scissorhand, and I don't think you'd be able to function properly. Oh darn, I forgot to mention. I do apply a Gelish dehydrator and a Gelish Pro Bond primer. I probably should have said that before. Oops. But the dehydrator removes all the slick from your natural nail, and the primer better preps the nail when bonding to your polygel. Sometimes I wish all nails were the size of your pinky nail, just because it's the smallest and it's quicker to do. But other times, like when I do crazy designs, I would love every nail to be the size of your thumbnail because there's just so much more surface to play with. The other good thing about Polygel is, as you can see, I'm putting on dollops of Polygel on my nail and taking a year and a day to form it, and it's not running, flooding the cuticle. It's just staying in place. You couldn't do that with builder gel. Builder gel just gets everywhere, or hard gel. Couldn't do that with acrylic sometimes, especially if your monomer to powder ratio is off. And again, obviously, you have to work fast with acrylic, but this is another reason why I like the polygel. It just sits there and waits for you to do whatever it is you need to do with it. Some polygels I find to be easier to manipulate with. The light pink polygel, it was easier to smooth out and push down than it was with the white polygel. When forming my natural nail part of the French tip, I chose to do a round edge. You can be dramatic and do a stiletto edge. If you like, you can do a square edge. You can pretty much do any kind. I've seen it on a bias, and that was pretty cool. But today I'm just doing a simple, basic French tip. one tip that I would take into account for is when you're using the lines on your form, it's okay to go over a little bit because you'll file down to the exact size you want. Now I'm going to remove a form and we're going to work under the nail. Again, like I said, for some reason the white polygel tends to be like marshmallowy even after you cure it. So I'm just going back in and smoothing things out. If I need to add, I'll add more white polygel underneath using the spatula to fill in any gaps that might pull off from the form. Cure it again. And I'll have to do this for the rest of the nails. I guess until I use up that whole white polygel bottle. I may try a different brand just to see if it's happening to other brands. But I do find that a little annoying. Just because also when you use the forms and you spread the polygel over it, you automatically get a nice finish underneath your nail. So me just going back in and smoothing it out with the brush, I mean, it's all right. It's just not, super slick compared to coming off the nail form. Plus, it's extra work. I think doing my nails every 2 weeks is work enough already. I do spend a lot of time on hobbies like this, and sometimes people will make fun of it. Like, I won't resurface till I'm done creating something, and that shouldn't bother you, but it does take time from being part of your own personal life, i.e. living in an apartment with my husband. So whenever I slink away to my woman cave, it wouldn't feel right with you if your guy, went away to his man cave for a while and didn't surface until he had to eat. So I try not to do that sometimes. It's funny, role reversal. But if this is what you like to do, anything that it is that you like to do, and obviously it's not hurting anybody, your partner or whoever should be happy with you doing what you like to do. And so that's why I'm here now doing this. One of the few gimmies I get, I guess. And, it's reciprocated. Everybody needs their own guilty pleasure and space away from people sometimes. So the way I like to file is a little bit crazy. I'll get the grittiest memory board or nail file from the lowest number grit to the highest. Sometimes when you just use one or two types of nail files, you'll get scratches when you put the top coat. Yeah, I mean, even if you put the top coat and you can see it, the lines. So I like to start from the roughest and go down to the finest buff. So I got my nail file kit. Everything I get is on Amazon. It's the best. Like that 2-day shipping, and at your fingertips you can think of anything you need and poof, it's there, and you just click, buy it, ship it, receive it, which could also be a problem if you can't stop like me. So yeah, this section you'll see me go through all the nails with each nail file setting, I guess, or grit number. And again, like, this would be so much faster with an e-file, but I'm just not comfortable with it. Like, I like to get in there, I like to make it smooth, I like to, you know, make sure the apex is okay, that everything is not as smooth and as bumpy. Wait. Is smooth and not bumpy. And I'm definitely not afraid of putting the extra elbow grease to file down to with the nail file. If it was an e-file, I'm just, if you're, I mean, I guess you won't learn unless you do use it more, but if you're too afraid, just don't do it. One thing I find with polygels in filing is that it feels soft. Like I said, it's strong after you're all done, but when you're filing, it felt soft to file. Like, as you can see, it's clumping. It's not with builder gel. It just, or and acrylics too. The dust just, plumes everywhere. But here, the dust just seemed to clump up and fall down to the paper towel, which I think is good because I feel like it's filing better than acrylic and builder gels do. With, let's say, builder gel, I feel like I have to file forever just to get it down and, put more effort or put more pressure in filing. And here it was about a decent amount of pressure. It was more friction than pressure. So as you file down, you'll see that the smile line I made will reveal itself after filing off the extra white polygel, which I think is cool because back in the day I would just get white nail polish and try to paint it, and to get a smile line perfect with nail polish, especially when you're not doing it every 2 weeks, was a bit hard for me. I would tend to just go straight across because I had no time for that business. So now it looks like, you actually went out and had someone do it for you. I think people get a little bit amazed when, I come out rocking like bling or some crazy paint jobs and they say, "Oh, who did your nails?" And I always say me, and they're like, "Oh my god, no you didn't." Yes, I did. Again, I have a lot of time on my hands, especially with this quarantine, so I probably should have done this back in April. But I think there are more pressing matters to worry about, so. During the quarantine, I ended up getting married July 25th. And so maybe a couple weeks prior, we were running around doing errands, and I had to get a lottery ticket for my wedding date. And I popped in, and don't even ask me why or how, but there was this hair salon that sold lottery tickets. I mean, that's a first for me. Like, cut your hair, buy some lotto. It's a weird combo. But this lady just flat out said, "Oh, you work at such and such place," and obviously nail salon was, or nails, or some form of terminology in that business title identified it as a nail salon for me. And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, do you work there?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, those are really nice nails." And mind you, I did my wedding nails. It was like a glass slippered rhinestone crystal covered thing that it's pictured in my last video. And I was like, "No, these are mine. I did them myself." "Oh, okay." And I was kind of like complimented, but at the same time a little bit insulted, because I mean, I'm gonna admit I'm pretty Asian right now, so it just seems like the stereotypes are true at that moment of time. But what would make you think, "Oh, you work from that salon"? That'd be like the first comment you make. Usually it's, "Oh, I love your nails." It's not like, "Oh, you work at such and such place," and it's like, no, I'm not even from this state, but thank you. But anyway, practice makes perfect, and I assure you, you'll get to that point where everybody's gonna think that you're some nail technician just hopping around, walking out with blinged out nails. I mean, is that a thing too? Because I can imagine that nail technicians may have nice nails, but I feel like, shouldn't they not, so they can get all down and dirty with your nails and not jack up their own? I don't know. I'm not a technician, but yeah, that was different. I think in my next videos, I will keep the filing to a minimum, or I could explain in more detail my filing madness. Comments below of what you'd think I should do. This is a little excessive, but it's there. I do, like I said, I fidget a lot with my nails, and I love a smooth nail though. I just can't stop. Like, it's insane. I did learn that from doing acrylics back in grammar school, as I'm dating myself again. You don't have to have the nails so thick anymore. Like, the products have become so much more efficient and better that nowadays people are rocking a credit card thick nail, and that would be just a big no-no back in the day with acrylics, because they would just snap off if they were that skinny. But so I like the fact that now I can file it down to credit card thickness. Credit card meaning your credit card and thickness. And I only use that term because I heard it on a video. But I like the skinnier nail. I don't like it to be bulky. And again, like I said, it's lightweight. So, you know, it just doesn't feel you have nails after some point, you know. Once you get used to the length. I think the only thing was getting used to the length. Because I normally, like I said, my nails chip all the time. I always had short nails, you know, to the skin. I did do some sets that were like super long, and that was like crazy to me because I wanted to try it out. I thought it would be cool and interesting, and I had them done almost to the tip of the nail forms that we saw earlier, and it wasn't that bad after getting used to it. Like, it was about maybe, you know, a few days of readjusting. At the time, I was like just using the keyboard a lot. So, I thought it would have been a nightmare, but like after just your brain just reading it automatically, like, you adjust to it, and it was easier actually just because I didn't have to, you know, be so close to the keyboard to type the letters. It was, you know, I guess that carpal tunnel, you can readjust your wrist right with your long nails. The only thing that you really can't do is like open stuff, just because of the fear of, you know, with a long nail like that, like just having it break on you or bend backward. I don't know. I just have a lot of bad acrylic days from the past that have traumatized me. So anyway, I am now cleansing up all the dust from filing using the Gelish cleanser. This is the Gelish top coat. It is a white top coat. It came with the kit. I have very few gel polishes that are no wipe, and I love those ones so much better. But I mostly have wipe gels, and they use up a lot of cotton and wipes. You know, with anything you can develop an allergic reaction to. So I go through the wipes so much because once I use one up, sometimes I'll feel like I have to get another one and wipe off some more, just because I feel like it's still like this, the sticky part of it's still on there. So I just top coated that, and I'm curing it. Using the cleanser to wipe it off. I'm trying to like carefully take it off and not like, I'm using different parts of the wipe so that I don't have to get another one. It's so bad. But I have seen and heard of people getting allergic reactions, not by this particular brand, but any. I don't know what they used at the time. Sometimes it's from the salon, sometimes it's not. So this is the nail cuticle oil. My hands are always dry, but you definitely want to put this on after you finish a set, just because you've roughed up, especially the cuticle areas, and you just want to give them something to give them a treat. And that's my set. One hand. Well, I hope you like this. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for future videos. Thanks, bye.